I'm about to play poker against one of the best in the world. Let me introduce you to Olivier Busquet.
Olivier Busquet.
Olivier Busquet.
Olivier Busquet.
Busquet beats his buddy to win the Barcelona Super High Roller.
Olivier has made the greatest comeback in the history of the world. Playing heads up.
Wait, let's back it up. That's me. I'm Branson, professional poker player, vlogger. I'm meeting up with a friend today to play a poker tournament that, let's just say, I don't have that much experience in. All right, Abby and I are gonna be playing the $1,720 heads up championship at Borgata. I honestly think it's probably one of like the best.
It's my favorite tournament of the series, but I will say we are probably just going to be seated together round one. So sorry to take your 1,700 so quickly, but it kind of just goes like that sometimes, you know?
I'm a heads up fish.
Double camera.
You got the double
Are
camera.
you playing the heads
Wow,
up?
Darren, are you gonna be my first opponent?
I hope so.
Dude.
I hope not. No. These are the enemies. The enemies are here. Oh, public enemy number one. What's up, brother? No, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with. There's a bunch of people, I don't want to be with. Okay, so let's take a look at who I'm playing. Oh, who is that? You might guess. Oh no, who might that be?
The best heads up player in the world.
Let me ask our resident pro, Darren Elias. Hey Darren, what do you think of my opponent? Pretty easy match, Olivier Busquet.
Oh, tough one, man. Live B, old school.
This is the worst matchup I could have asked for. I mean, it's this or Darren. I wish I would have played Abby. I learned to play poker when I was 12 years old. I played with my family on board game nights, then with friends, then in the casino, slowly moving up through the stakes. I've never considered myself great, but I was always good enough to win at the games I chose to play in. My opponent is elite. He is better than me, more skilled, more studied, more experienced, but I still have a chance. In poker, everyone has a chance. I just have to try my best. So here we go. We both start with 50,000 chips, and Olivier takes the early lead. I fold Jack Deuce pre-flop. I call a 3-bet with Ace-7 suited, miss the flop, fold to a pot-sized bet. And then I pick up 5-6 in the big blind. Olivier raises to 1K. In heads up, ranges are much wider. It's one-on-one, you can't just wait for premium cards, so I make the call. The flop comes 4-7-8. I flop this straight. Come on, let's go. I check, and Olivier continues for 1K. On a low board like this, I don't think I should be slow playing. I'm gonna be raising a lot of straight draws, flush draws, so when I have value, I should also raise. I make it 3K, he calls. The turn is the king of clubs. Terrible card. I think he could easily have a flush, and even if he doesn't, I don't think many weaker hands are calling off a turn and river bet, because I could have the flush. I decide to check. I don't want to bloat this pot too much if I'm against a flush, and if he checks back, I can still go for value on the river. He does check, but the river comes another club. Absolutely awful run out for my hand. I went from the nuts to a good hand to a bluff catcher. I can't bet for value, so I check, and he bets 5K. I have one of the weakest flushes possible, but I also know I look weak. I check the turn, I check the river. Seems like a good spot to bluff if I were him. So I make the call. He has 9-5, no flush. Let's go. I take it down. A little later, I pick up 9-10 on the button. Blinds are 300, 500. I raise to 1.2K. Olivier calls. Flop is king, queen, 6, 2 spades. I think it's good for my range. I have a gutter. On a wet board like this, when I bet, I'm taking a larger sizing. I go 1.5K, but he calls. The turn is an 8, improving me to a double gutter. Now I decide to size down. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not studied in heads up play, but here is my thinking. If I bet small and he has a very strong hand, he'll likely raise from out of position. I can call with my improved equity, try to hit the straight on the river. If I bet small and he just calls, he probably does not have a very strong hand. And I can try a big boy bluff on the river if I miss, or a value bet if I hit. I bet 2K, he just calls, and the river comes the jack of spades. We hit the straight, but the flush does come in. Olivier's thinking for a while, and then leads for 7K. I don't think raising's good, so I call. Olivier shows 10-4 of spades for the flush. Yikes. I lose the next few pots after that. Small pots, but I feel him gaining this momentum, and I want it to shift. I pick up 3-4 of diamonds. He raises to 1,200. I make the call. The flop is queen 7-5, and he bets 1K. I don't have much, just a gut shot straight draw, but I folded to so many of his c-bets. At what point do I fight back and try to take control? I think my hand is an okay candidate to raise, so I do. I raise to 3K. I'm praying he folds, but he makes the call. The turn is an ace. Now I have a double gutter. I bet again, 5K. Come on, fold! But he's undeterred. He sticks around, makes the call. The river is a 3. I river a pair, but I don't think my pair is any good. I think I have to bluff. I'm trying to represent 2 pair or sets. I bet 8,000 chips. And he starts thinking. He's thinking. And then he says something crazy.
I want to call and then you'd be bluffing with a better hand. And maybe you'd have 3-4. Which beats me, actually, surprisingly enough.
Dude, you're too good. You're so good. So yeah, he owned me. I don't know how else to say it. He called out my exact hand, which was somehow the best hand. He made the correct fold, and anyway, this is all in my mind. When a few hands later, I pick up ace queen of diamonds on the button. I raise to 1.5K. Olivier makes the call. The flop comes 8-4 deuce rainbow. He checks, and on this board, ace high is just gonna be the best hand a lot. I don't need a bet. I'm not gonna get a pair to fold anyway, so I check. Turn is a king. Action goes check, check again. River another king, and now he bets 2.5K.
Man. You want a sick value, but with a 4. Oh, you're sick. You're too good. You're too good.
Are you guys sleeping these cards or something? What's happening here?
So now it's my turn to call out his hand. Maybe not as cool as him, because I still pay him off, but, you know, maybe, you know, still cool, like... Alright, I pick up 4-7 of clubs in the big blind. Olivier opens to 1.4K. I make the call. Flop comes queen 9-6 with 2 clubs, and he continues for 1.2K. I decide to raise with my flush draw, 3 times his bet. I'd be happy with a fold, but he makes the call. The turn is a 7. Interesting card because now I have a pair. I'm now beating straight draws and flush draws. I keep barreling. I bet 6K, but he calls again. I'm looking for a club, a 7, a 4, something to improve my hand. And the river is the 5 of spades. I don't improve. So the question is, what do I do now? Should I go all in? Can I get a queen to fold? My heart is pounding. The problem is, I feel like he can see right through me. I can't do it. I check. He checks back and shows 9-6 offsuit for a flopped 2 pair. Granted, results-wise, I don't think he's ever folding 2 pair, but I gotta find some way to turn this around. Otherwise, I'm just handing him the victory. I pick up 7-8 offsuit on the button. As my stack's getting shallower, I'm opening smaller. I min-raise 1.2K, and he makes the call. The flop is a good one. 4-5-6. I flop the straight. The absolute nuts. So how big do I want to bet? In theory, on a low connected board like this, you're supposed to check a lot or bet big. But I choose a third option. I bet tiny, 800 chips. This board should be better for him. I'm trying to induce a raise. It doesn't work, but he still makes the call. The turn is a king. I bet 2,000 and he calls again. The river, another king, and he checks to me. I'm trying to think what he has. I think he would have raised me at some point if he had 2 pair or better, so I think he has a single pair or missed draw. I debate betting big. It would fold out his missed draws, but maybe he would hero call with a 6 or a 5. But then another thought came into my head. What if I bet really small, making it look like I had a 6 or a pocket pair going for thin value, but I'm scared to lose too many chips? Would he attack me? Could I induce bluff? I'm going for it. I bet 1,500. He looks at me a few times and then raises to 10,000. Let's go. Finally. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm all in, 24,800 chips. I expect him to fold pretty quickly, but then he starts tanking. What's he thinking about? Is he gonna make a hero call with a 6? Does he somehow have a king? If he calls, I'll have the chip lead for the first time all day. Come on, call, call. But he finds the fold. Still a massive win for me. The cool thing about Heads Up is you really get to know your opponent. Olivier, on top of being a world-class player, is a super genuine guy. We had great conversation, and he agreed to review some of our hands on camera after we finished the match. So that's a huge treat I have in store for you guys at the end of this video, being able to see the thought process of a top player. Anyway, in this one, I defend queen 6 on the big blind, and the flop comes queen 9-7 rainbow. Olivier bets a little less than half pot. With top pair, not going anywhere, I make the call, and the turn is a jack. Now he bets 5K. It's a chunky bet, a bit scary, but I call again. The river is a 5. I check, hoping he checks back. But of course he doesn't. He bets 12,000 chips. And this is where I struggle. In the little bit that I've looked at solvers for heads-up play, I rarely see top pair fold. But in reality, on this board, I don't see that many intuitive bluffs. I feel like I'm gonna lose if I call. So do I listen to my gut? Or do I listen to the computer? I don't know. I go back and forth in my head, but eventually decide to do what I think the computer will do. I call. He shows 9-7 for 2 pair and he wins. Was it the right decision in the long term? Maybe, but I'm in trouble. I have a little over 20,000 chips left. Olivier has 80,000. It doesn't look good, but one hand could change everything. I pick up ace-9 of clubs. Olivier makes it 2K, and I know what I have to do. I'm all in, 20,800 chips. He doesn't look happy, which means I think I have the best hand, and I want him to call. He eventually does. He has king, queen. I'm ahead, but the flop gives him tons of outs. I have to dodge a 9, queen, king, or ace in order to survive. Come on, let's go, come back. I win another one with king, queen suited. I 3-bet and take it down, and then I pick up queen 8 offsuit. He makes it 2K, I call. The flop comes queen 8-3. I flop top 2 pair. I check, he bets 1.5K. It seems like he's always called when I've check raised. So why would I stop when I have value? I make it 4.5K. This time he does something different though. He 3-bets to 12K. And a thought pops into my head. I think I have him on the ropes. Sure, he could have a set, but me holding 2 pair makes it very unlikely. I think he has aces, kings, ace, queen. I look at our chips. We have roughly the same amount. I have 46.1K. He has 49.9K. Sure, I think he played better than me this match. But in this moment, in this hand, I think I'm winning. And I think he has a hand that can't fold. I think I can go for it all. I'm all in, 46.1K. He calls, he has kings. I'm a heavy favorite. I just have to hold. Turn, jack, clean. River, 3. The board pairs, and I get counterfeit. He wins.
I don't know if you have chips.
I don't think so.
Hey, it was great to play with you. Great to meet you, man.
The champion. Well done, well done.
Brutally honest, what was your impression of me?
I'll be completely honest with you.
Yeah, 100%.
It seemed like you didn't have that much confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
And I could sense that.
Yeah.
Even if you think you're playing with someone who's more experienced than you or whatever, I think I would try to just believe in yourself in a way that the other person can feel. I feel like you played well. You went for spots. No, I thought you played well, man. And it was great to chat with you. Honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
really,
your story is really cool,
Thank
and I support your channel. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Great playing with you too.
Olivier only played 2 events in the Borgata series where we met. He took 5th place in the heads up, and he took 1st in the championship. I'm very grateful for his advice. In-game confidence is something I'll have to work on. And the treat for you guys, a few days later we met up to talk about our hand histories. So enjoy, and hopefully you're able to take something away from this conversation.
Everyone, this is my opponent, Olivier Busquet. He's agreed to sit down with me, talk about some of the spots we played, and
Yeah.
So how are you doing, by the way?
I'm good. I'm not doing great in this tournament.
Really quick, do you want to tell your brief story, like a 1 to 2 minute synopsis of who you are and where you've come to be?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing poker professionally for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Mostly online. For a decent portion of that, I was playing heads up, sit and goes as my main game.
Right.
And I was doing it at a time where not that many people were doing it. So I was able to get
pretty good at it relative to most people. And I was playing live tournaments always kind of at the same time. I took a break from live poker right around COVID and haven't played much live poker in the last 5 years. I got married and have a family now, and this year was my first year. I went to the World Series for a couple weeks, and then I came and played this heads-up tournament. I got you in the first round.
And yeah.
And so yeah, here I am. I play almost exclusively mid-stakes cash online right now. I live in Jersey and I play in the domestic online market.
Okay, first hand, I pick up 5-6 offsuit with a club, the 5 of clubs. He raises to 1K from the button. I make the call, 5-6 offsuit, standard defend, I think, right?
Yeah. We're playing 200, 400. We're pretty pretty deep. It's like
deep.
first level or something.
Flop comes out 4-7-8, 2 clubs. It's just amazing.
Not a bad flop.
It is. It is the best.
Flop.
I check. He bets 1K. Do you remember what you had?
Yeah, 9-5 off.
Oh, duh. I had
9-5 no club.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. I decided to raise right away to 3K. A lot of my raises were just standard 3x sizings. I mean, that's probably maybe too small.
No, I think on this kind of board, I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
I think when you raise a little smaller, you allow yourself to not be as polarized.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of hands that benefit from protection on this board.
Yeah.
So, these are the type of boards that can be very player dependent.
Okay.
Some people, when they raise here, they're just like very nutted. Some
Right.
people have so many 5-6x straight draw flush. You know what I
yeah,
mean? There's so many
yeah.
possibilities for raises that if there's nothing disciplining your frequencies,
Right.
people can get out of whack easily.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about you.
Yeah.
Part of what I'm doing is I'm not c-betting that often. So,
Right.
but this hand I think wants to c-bet at a reasonable frequency, just also because the 6 is a kind of a special card.
Yeah.
Where my hand makes a higher straight
Yeah,
than a lot
exactly,
of 5s.
exactly.
Yeah. So, I don't have a club, so it's not great.
Yeah.
But if I ever bet, I have to call any reasonable raise.
Makes
So,
sense.
Yeah.
And
I didn't
then-
love it when you raised, but I was like,
Yeah.
let's just see what happens.
And then for me, my reasoning was I felt like I'm going to be
You had
attacking the
nuts?
low.
That's a good reason. That's a good reason to raise. I don't know.
But also, I felt like I'm going to be attacking this type of board a decent amount.
Right, okay.
And so I got to do it with my strong hands as well.
Yeah.
Okay, here's an interesting spot. So the turn comes the king of clubs, bringing a 3rd club, and I decide to check.
Okay.
Partially for pot control. I mean, I thought I didn't know exactly how much.
What does that mean, pot control?
Honestly, I felt like you could still have flush draws in there, and if I
I could have made a flush.
you could have made a flush.
Sure.
Right there. And if I bet here and get raised, I'm calling, and then I'm probably calling a river to the pot's gonna balloon up if you have a flush. And I don't know if I can let go of my hand heads up.
Okay.
And I know that's probably fear and bad thinking, but
Well, what I would be thinking of is, like, poker fundamentally is just a game of ranges. So I would
Right.
just be thinking what my range looks like, what my opponent's range looks like. I think the club is a specific card.
right.
I think there is a reasonable symmetry between the flushes. In other words, like, both of us make flushes on that card at
Yes,
a reasonable.
yes.
So I don't think one of us has a lot more flushes than the other
Right,
necessarily.
right.
So I think because of that, you don't get to bet very big.
Okay.
Because if you bet too big, then you make my life kind of easy.
Right.
Where I can continue with, like, not just my flushes necessarily,
Right,
but just
right,
a lot of my good hand,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
Right. So I think I would basically always bet your hand.
Okay.
Just because you can get a lot of value from
Right.
every one of my hands that continues that's not a flush.
Right.
Also, you block flushes.
Right.
And your hand is just really good.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're checking this hand,
Yeah.
like, would
What are you- what
are
are
you
you
checking
betting?
any of your flushes?
Probably betting small with a lot of my flushes.
Okay, what about like sets or 2 pairs? Because I mean, the problem with your hand is that you're dead to a flush.
Yeah.
But sets and 2 pairs can obviously improve,
Yeah.
so they're a little different, even though they're like weaker absolute value hands.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is, okay, probably going to check a lot of those hands. And again, I'm not saying this is correct. This is just my thinking. And going to get one street of value from a hand like over pairs that are under the king or an 8.
No, my sense would be that this is a card that you can bet reasonably frequently with, like a pretty high volume of betting at a small size.
Yeah. Okay. So you like
and
small
I would
size.
and I would just bet your hand like most, if not all the time.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. Also, because there are a bunch of bad cards for your hand. Right?
Yes.
Your hand has a lot of value now, but another club is terrible for
True,
your hand.
true.
like a 6 or 5 devalues your hand. The board pairing is not as good. So
Yeah.
you know, you want to get some value now, and sure, I'll have some flushes, but I'll have plenty of other hands that are just worse than yours.
Yeah. But then do you think plenty of hands will call off 2 more streets of value?
Well,
'Cause-
it depends what the river is,
Yeah,
obviously.
that's true.
But let's say the river is some sort of blank card.
Yeah.
That maybe.
Okay.
I mean, it just
okay.
depends what I have.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, like I'm gonna play my range in a way that's like trying to be reasonable, but also I don't know how you play.
Right.
And so I think it's very easy for people to overdo it in these types of spots. So I mean, maybe if I have like a pair with a club or I don't know, some other hand. I don't know. I could also just have like, you know, some king X with a club that floated a bit light
Right.
or that hit a king. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I just think your hand benefits from betting a lot, and your
Right.
range is good enough to bet at a high volume.
Makes sense. I think that makes a lot of sense. So the river comes 10 of clubs, 4th club. Now my plan goes, well, if I'm going to be taking this passive line, especially with the 5 of clubs, and that was also part of my reasoning towards checking because I had a club, and I was like, okay,
bit of
well,
backup
a
in
little
case
bit
of
of
back-
backup.
yeah, sure.
I think I'm more likely to bet if I don't have. I don't. Again, I don't know if this is correct, but in my head, I'm more likely to bet without a club because I have no backup.
Okay.
And that logic may be completely flawed.
I don't actually know the answer in this particular case. I think, yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, yeah. But here at the river, I think you played perfectly well. I mean, you have a club, you can check call.
Yeah.
I didn't have a club. I think I have to bluff my
Yeah.
hand. Maybe, I don't know if I'm supposed to bluff every time. I don't think I have that many hands that check the turn and the river that don't have a club. So maybe I'm bluffing, I don't know, a lot of them. I don't really know. I didn't really have a way of, I didn't roll on that spot. I just thought I should bet my hand every time. So
and then I look decently weak.
yeah, I think you're going to have a number of hands that don't have a club. And
Right, like a
I'm not
number-
sure if you're calling any
two-pair hands
hands that don't have a club. I don't
Right,
know.
right, yeah.
I wasn't
I
sure
don't
if you would
think
have
I
a
will.
hand like, I don't know, 10-8 off with no club.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you don't check raise that hand ever, but I didn't know you. So I wasn't sure.
I think I would be more likely to check raise more of my draws than top pairs.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah. Would it be easier if we moved? Could we move to this table real quick?
It'd be better if you actually looked at that one because this one. is
This
about
one.
to be used
Okay,
in
okay,
about
okay.
That was just one hand, Branson.
I know. Well, I'll try to go quicker.
No, I wasn't blaming you. I was just observing that. I can ramble on about hands for a long time.
I can too. I mean, it's really interesting to me. Yeah, so we have moved spots to accommodate. This was a hand I know you think I misplayed, which I would agree. I'm not saying you're. We already briefly talked about this one, and I think a tactic I was using was a tactic that may work better on a worse player, more inexperienced player. I was planning to go small bet and if no resistance, then bomb a lot of rivers.
Okay.
So this hand, I have 9, 10 off, and I'm on the button. Blinds are 300, 500. I raise to 1.2K. I think pretty standard.
Yep.
You make the call. Flop comes queen, king, 6, 2 spades. I have no spades in my hand. I decide to bet over half pot here, like 60%. I bet 1.5K.
It's good size, I think.
Okay. You make the call, and the turn is the 8 of diamonds, bringing 2 diamonds. Now there's 2 diamonds and 2 spades. And on this texture, what do you like to do with my hand? I now pick up.
Yeah, you have 9-10 with a diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I mostly bet your hand, but whenever I bet very large. Like I'm just very polar in the spot. I'm not betting any queens.
Yeah.
I'm actually checking a reasonable amount of my kings. So like my value threshold is something like king 9.
Strong kings and
yeah, king 9 plus.
Yeah.
And then I have some draws.
Okay.
And so yeah, the pot's like 5,400. I probably would bet something like somewhere between 6 and 8K.
Okay.
Yeah, you bet 2K, which I felt like allowed me to realize my equity. I end up having a flush draw.
Right.
And a hand that can't call a big bet. So this particular case, I get a little bit lucky. I get to call the smaller bet, and then I make a flush on the river.
Then we both make our hand on the river.
Yeah, Jack of Spades comes, which is like the perfect card.
So you like the overbet. Does it change at all if the turn is not a second flush draw? Would you size a little bit less, or you still go for the same exact size?
Personally, I don't make a big difference when there's 2 flush draws in a case like this when I'm raising. But if I were to pick a different size, I would pick a higher size on the rainbow board. And the reason,
I don't mean rainbow. I mean like
not
the
rainbow, on the non-second flush draw.
Yeah, okay.
So when there's 2 flush draws on the board, you are going to have some essentially mandatory continues, right? So I don't really get to put that much pressure on this like new subset of hands that has to continue. If you see what I'm saying, like some of those hands just have to continue, and I mean,
even
obviously
to
if
an overbet though.
Yes, some of them do, like the pair plus, or maybe
Pair,
the combo draws
right.
plus, or like and then some of the continues are going to act as check raises because they have so much equity and because they don't perform as well in the call line. I actually think this is a mistake people make, is that when a second flush draw comes, they think they have to size up, and I think it's the other way around in a lot of cases.
Okay.
The point of the very, very large size is that you get your range, the range that's getting attacked is just like condensed, doesn't have many nutted hands, and has a ton of essentially like break even / bluff catchy. I don't know what to do with my hand when somebody bets really big. But if you have like a hand that has so much equity, you know what to continue. That's the different category of hand that now the big bet doesn't put as much pressure on. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I got to realize my equity, and then I played my hand kind of weird actually, because the Jack of Spades came in and I led.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know you.
Right.
I thought you had some. I didn't really know what you had, but I just did. I was afraid it would go check, and I just wanted to get value from my hand.
Right.
And I didn't really think that I had a ton of
think
reasonable bluffs I could represent, but I didn't know if that mattered in that particular spot, so I just bet trying to get value from my hand. It was a little.
I do think if I had like a random king, then I might just check back. Like you
might check back. Yeah, but would you have also folded to my lead?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you just called kind of instantly because you had like a straight.
Yeah.
We didn't really have to go through that spot.
And there, I mean, I'm never folding a straight when I make a straight there, right? Even when you lead it from an exploit, like.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this. It's weird because your hand is so good that, I don't think I would ever fold it. You could argue that when I lead like this, I essentially am saying I have a flush or I'm bluffing.
Right.
So maybe it's better to have some spade in your hand.
Right.
I would always just call your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, your hand's just.
But that's why I also didn't even hesitate about like even thinking about a raise, because I'm just like easy.
Oh no, I don't think you can raise.
Yeah. So the one really going back to the small bet and just this mentality of like, okay, so it's a double flush board. If I bet small here, his range will be more face up because there's so many draws, and if he has a value hand, he's probably going to let me know now if I take a small sizing. And I don't know how damaging that thinking is. Like, okay, so if I bet 2K here, in my head, I'm like, okay, if he has a big value hand, 2 pairs, anything like that, he's probably going to raise me here, and therefore.
So you're saying that your small sizing
later.
Just gives you information that you can kind of like walk into
navigate
how you play
later.
the river.
Yeah.
I think that there's some logic to that, and I think that makes sense. I don't tend to think about hands in that way.
Right.
Because I'm always just thinking about what my range and my opponent's range look like, and what that dictates about like what the sizing implications are of the interaction of our range with the board texture.
Right.
So I think that can work. And that's the thing about poker, is that there's so many strategies that can
work.
And even if you look at a solver, the EV of different strategies can often be quite similar.
Right.
Even if one might be a little higher. None of us are executing the strategy perfectly anyway, so
okay.
I find the polarized like big bet strategy kind of easy to implement because there's this pretty clear value threshold, and then I mean I need to you need to be aware of which hands to use that are not value, like which bluffs, semi bluffs, whatever. That is a whole additional question. But like, would you have made the same bet if you had King Jack?
I might definitely make the same bet with King Jack, and then probably.
Okay, but if you have King Jack and then I have King 7,
yeah,
right? Then a bad card could come on the river,
yeah,
and then you might have to check back, and now you've lost some value.
That's very true.
That's just
very true.
Every time you think about a way to play a hand, you can think of a way that it doesn't go well for your strategy.
Right.
But that's just, you know what I mean? Like part of the reason I think to bet really big is that like I can never fold top pair
Right.
To a big bet, and so you're going to get a lot of value from your nutted hands, and then you get to throw in a ton of bluffs where my queen X, my bunch of my draws just can't continue, and I just have to fold and not realize my equity. I think it's another thing in poker. You're trying to make sure you realize your equity, and you're trying to prevent your opponent when you can from realizing theirs.
Right.
That's another thing that the big bet accomplishes.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think too often I get caught up in like the art of like deduction and where can I get and glean information. More and more I see people floating flops with a larger range, and then the turn narrows people further, I feel like.
So part of the point, I think, of the big bet strategy
is that you could really narrow it.
Well, yes and no, but also is the fact that you get to make a ton of money from floats.
Right.
Because you're checking back actually a bunch of hands that are going to call river.
Right.
Another problem potentially with your strategy is that like
Right.
you might be throwing in now, because you're betting small, most if not all of your king X. Maybe even
Right.
some of your queen X.
Right.
Because you've bet small now, you've bet
Right.
40%, so maybe queen jack even wants to bet this hand. You're like, I charge all the draws.
Right.
He's going to tell me if he has a king plus or whatever.
Yeah.
But now what that means is that when it goes check, check, you're left with very few hands that can call a bet, especially a big bet.
Right.
Whereas if you
right.
bet big, now you have all this king X that check back, and you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people in a lot of spots, they play too linear.
Yeah.
And so what that means is that in the passive lines and the check lines, they're much weaker than they're supposed to be, and then those are attackable.
Yeah. For the overbet for value, what do you think like is the weakest you're
King
taking?
nine.
King. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay. King 9. Wow. And that's for value with King 9.
Yeah. I mean, what hands do you have that are better than king 9? Or what hands do I in this spot that would I have?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I've rivered some two pair. Turned some two pair. Maybe
Right.
I have king 6 as a hand that's probably not check raising that much on the
Right.
flop. Maybe some queen 6. But in general, you just have such a huge advantage on the king queen.
Yeah.
You just
Okay.
you get to leverage that
Okay.
big advantage.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
include
yeah.
a lot of bluffs.
Where I get stuck is like, well, if I'm going King 9 for this value, sure, I might be ahead of, but am I ever getting called by worse?
But imagine
when I
if,
take that
if you're
sizing?
if you're never getting called by worse.
Yeah. Then it's like, well, then I'm
you're
printing when I'm
printing
bluffing.
when
Yeah.
Yeah. You're essentially making a queen indifferent.
Yeah.
Is kind of what you're doing with that. Top pair cannot really fold. I mean,
Yeah.
top pair. I mean, obviously some exploitive considerations, like maybe you could fold top pair to some
Yeah.
people. I don't know, but from a theoretical point of view, I think, or even in practice against almost everybody that you play at a
Yeah.
reasonable level, I don't think you can fold top pair to a large bet.
Wow. Okay.
on the turn
So
there.
I think
So
that's
you're gonna
where
get some
I'm
value
I think
from some
I
more speaking.
overfold because I think I
Well,
would.
maybe you're responding
I'd be
to the
folding,
environment that
Like,
you're in.
yeah, that's true. I don't see too many overbets in
Yeah,
general.
maybe when people are overbetting, they just always have it.
At least they're definitely weighted toward having it.
Yeah, and also this is heads up, so it's just going to be different from the normal thing.
That's
that
very
you're,
true.
Because
That's
like if
very
you're
different from what I'm
raising
used to.
75, 80, 85% of hands pre
Right.
and betting a lot, if not most
Yes.
of them on the flop, there's just so many hands that just
That's very.
you know what I
true.
mean? Like
yeah.
unless you're checking all of them back, like
Yeah.
it's actually easy to overbluff in some of these spots.
Yeah. We don't have too much more time on our break. Are there any hands that you really felt were interesting?
The hand where you flop the straight.
Oh, yes.
No, but the 3-4
Yes.
hand was the most one of the more interesting hands. I
Yes,
thought.
the 3-4 hand.
Yeah, we can take another 20 minutes to talk about this. Hand.
Yeah, the 3-4 hand and the 7-8 hand. This one I have 3-4 of diamonds in the big blind. Olivier raises to 1.2K, so it's
300, 500 still.
Yeah, 300, 500. And I make the call. Do you ever take hands like this and like 3-bet them or get like cute with it?
I think this hand is maybe in the range a little bit. I don't tend to use these hands as much as some. I know some people use these types of hands at like a pretty disciplined frequency. I don't use these hands that much, but yeah, I think it can get in there. The 3-5, 3-4 suited can get in there, but not more than I think. 10, 15%, like not that often.
Okay, so the flop comes queen, 7, 5, rainbow.
Yeah, rainbow without a
With
diamond.
no diamond. I have no backdoor.
Which I think is a
draw.
little bit relevant.
Yes, it definitely is relevant. I check it over and he bets 1K into 2.4K. This is where I decided to go for the raise. I felt like, and I could be completely wrong, but I did feel like there were some times where you were taking bigger sizing with your more value and small. Okay.
No.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah,
it was all board texture.
Yeah, the size of my bet is just the board
Just
texture.
board texture.
That is actually really interesting to me that you thought you could tell a little bit about the strength of my hand from my bet size.
Sometimes I was like,
It's like
why is
borderline
he taking
disrespectful. You're like one of the most respectful people I've met. But that was the most disrespectful thing that you've said to me since I met you. Wow, that's
I'm so sorry. No, okay. Anyway, the board is queen 7-5, and my dilemma here was I didn't know if I should be continuing at all with 2 unders and a gutter with no backdoors. And so I was like, if I'm gonna continue, I'm gonna raise here.
I'm gonna come out swinging.
That's kind of my mentality, because I'm like, well, I don't have very many backdoors, so let's see if I can make him fold a now.
I think having backdoors is good for when you check raise out
No,
of position.
Yeah.
I would prefer to have the backdoor than to not have it.
Would you just outright fold here, or would you
Definitely not.
You would peel, even with no backdoor, just with this gutter and 2 unders.
Yeah, I think you can check raise this hand at a small frequency. Again, for me, so many of these types of spots end up coming down to frequency.
Right.
Right. So it's like, if you're looking at the clock and the clock tells you like 9 out of 10, and so that's why you raise, like, cool. But if you're just like, hey, my hand can do some stuff and I don't like the rest of it, so I'm gonna raise, that's a different kind of approach.
I'm definitely not raising here like a lot. Like, I'm not like, oh, this is like, I'm just like raising.
Then why did you pick this time?
There were a number of hands where you're winning a lot of our hands, and I was just like folding.
So you're annoyed at me.
No, but I didn't.
Sorry. But the reason I pushed you on this is just because I think it's important to start to develop a system to help you control your frequencies.
Right.
So that because when you raise with this hand, I don't think the reason should be some sort of game flow, context-based reason.
Okay.
I mean, unless you're very confident in that reason. That's fine.
No, definitely not. I mean, my reason was literally I felt you were taking the majority of pots with little resistance, and I felt like this was a hand that could possibly provide some resistance.
Yeah, I agree. It's a candidate.
I didn't want to be stuck in this game where you felt like, oh, you could just take every pot.
Sure. Okay.
And that's
it's funny because I end up floating pretty wide.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, this guy's full of shit. I almost 3-bet. I should have just 3-bet.
Yeah. I mean, 3-bet. I just snap fold.
Okay. Yeah. So on the queen 7-5, you have like some reasonable straight draw. You have a bunch of straight draws to choose from.
Right.
Some with backdoors, some open-ended, some gutters with over second pair, etc. I think the 3-4 is a fine candidate at a low frequency without the backdoor. With the backdoor, I think it's probably a little better.
Right.
And then, you're just going to navigate the turn depending on what the turn is.
Right.
So when the turn, so I had King Jack O. I called and the turn was an ace, and then you bet, and I was just like, this guy doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
I was like, what is he? I mean, obviously, okay, maybe you have a set or like you flop 2 pair or something.
That if I had known he was gonna float there with King High, I probably wouldn't even just done the move. I just would have been like, okay, I give up.
So the ace, offsuit ace cup. Wait, is it a flush draw? Yeah, ace of spades comes.
Flush draw, and it gives me a double gutter.
Yeah.
And then
can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Oh, wow. I'm so bad. I didn't even realize that card gives you a double gutter. I'm the worst poker player ever. Okay.
So then I continue on the ace.
Yeah, now it makes more sense for you to bet the turn.
Yeah, I bet the turn.
Yeah, it's actually not the worst card in the deck for you. Okay.
And then the river is an odd
so I float with my king. Now I actually have a draw of some sort. And I beat all the straight draws, and I didn't think you would bet that thin. I thought you would, So anyway, I decided to call. The river is the 3.
Yeah.
So you make a pair of 3s.
So my sizing, and again,
I think,
it's sketchy.
I should have just jammed on your goddamn bet.
It's very sketchy. The things that I had in my head was, if I was going for value with 2 pair.
Wait, so just to be clear, you bet 8K into 18-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a very odd sizing.
Yes.
Because it's a little bit more than a block.
Yeah.
But it's not like a actual.
I wanted to make it look like I was trying
Like a
to get
greedy block?
value
From
like
like
a greedy from like a queen.
Like a 2 pair. From just a queen?
I thought like maybe if you're just holding on with a queen.
Oh, getting value from a queen.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Getting
I thought
value from a queen.
Yeah, I thought you were saying
like
representing a queen.
No, pretending like I have 2 pair.
You can beat a queen somehow.
Yeah, I
and you're
can
trying
beat a queen.
to make a queen make a crying call.
Yes.
Got it.
That was my mentality. I mean, I also don't know in heads up, but like a lot of times when if I go for a check raise in live cash, I don't see people floating me with like no pair king, king high. So I don't even, or even like ace high. I don't see a lot of ace high.
But you're also not playing heads up live.
No, I just don't know.
Yeah, it's heads up
so
is going to be a little different.
In my
Ranges
head,
are
I'm
wider
thinking,
and-
okay, he could have a queen easily here. That was what I
Oh,
was
I can.
thinking.
For sure, I can have a queen easily.
Because I felt like if you had a queen, then you're like, oh wait, shit, he's like trying to make me call the queen. I don't know. It's so bad.
But I agree that a queen doesn't want you to bet at all.
Right,
and
right.
8K is annoying if I have a queen. I mean, I agree. If I have an ace, I think maybe it's not that different, honestly. I mean, you're just repping better than 2 pair.
Right.
I just think, I'm going to end up like with some hands that kind of have to call, and like I'm glad you bet 8 and not 14.
Right.
With those hands, kind of. Yeah, but you're bluffing, and it's an interesting size to choose as a bluff.
Yeah.
And I actually tanked for a while because I really thought you were bluffing.
Yeah, but then you were like, I don't.
Like, I hope you don't have 3-4.
Yeah, you literally said that, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the hands that makes some sense that is bluffing that I beat.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, that beats me.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Maybe I should have been more like in a razor fold spot with my no pair hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad I folded. I didn't pay you off with your 5th pair value bet. You're sicko. This guy's sick, man.
Oh man, absolutely. Yeah.
So you want to do one more or no?
I feel guilty for taking up so much of your time already.
No, I'm telling you, it's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like, I had fun.
Cool.
My daughter's gonna watch this YouTube video and love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much
You got
for
it, man.
everything.
You got it.
Really appreciate everything. All right, guys, this was on the table with Olivier Busquet and Branson. Is it Busquet? How do you?
Busquet, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Good luck.